No, at the very beginning, I introduced you as someone who's engaged in an activity that a lot of our viewers do. So as something of an aspirational figure, because you are someone who you run a hedge fund, but you for a very long time you've traded your own book and consistently made money, and not just earned positive returns, but many instances beat the S&P 500 and gained returns that would impress almost anyone in the world. My question for you is, what is the parting lesson or message that you want to leave our viewers with, many of whom, want to be Noel Smith? I guess I'd say, what do you think is the most misunderstood thing about how to be a successful trader?
It's similar to life. It's follow the money. Don't assume that the information that you're getting doesn't have an agenda. So if you're watching a guy on CNBC talk about a company, don't assume that he doesn't have a position in that company. Don't assume that he doesn't have some kind of an economic relationship with that company, its analogs, or maybe even the people that work at that company. There are reasons that people do things that really have nothing to do with you sometimes. As a market maker, if you want to sell calls and the person you're trading with wants to buy calls, you can both make money. Because what you're doing is you're hedging off in the stock market, or maybe you're hedging off in a correlated name. So the idea that it's a zero-sum game and that you can't make money in the marketplace, I totally disagree with. And I know, 200 people personally, and probably another 1,000 people lightly, that have made an insane amount of money trading the market. So I wouldn't want to discourage anybody from being a participant. And also don't let your judgment be clouded by talking heads or people on TV or whatever else, because it can be done, and it's being done all the time. When I started in the business, Citadel as a trading firm didn't exist. Jump as a trading firm didn't exist. There are a lot of trading firms that are born out of other firms that guys kind of know what's going on, and they go out and they try to make a living doing it. And if you are doing something that is unique, or you are able to identify a trade or knowledge or a way of doing things or a way of looking at things, I wouldn't let anybody discourage you, because it's totally doable. And this idea that, everybody you trade with is trying to murder you financially at all times, it might be true. It might be true, but it's not necessarily always true. Because, if you are buying car insurance, the car insurance company doesn't assume that you're just going to immediately crash your car into a wall. So they price so that they look in aggregate of all of the cars in your profile, your zip code, and your weather conditions. They've decided that collecting $200 a month from you is a good price, and they can do that times however many people, and they can make money doing it. But for them to assume that you're immediately going to buy insurance and go destroy your car is not the case. And the same thing in the options market. If a guy is out there buying puts, it doesn't necessarily mean that he thinks the market's going to crash tomorrow. He might have a long book. He might have he might have other different short puts against that he's trying to hedge out, or who knows, maybe it's a convertible arbitrage strategy. There are innumerable strategies and reasons that people do things that are not readily apparent to the public. And don't assume that everyone is trying to, again, financially murder you at all times. Because a lot of times they're just trying to hedge off their risk and go about their day.